Very good morning to Dr. Zuraina and my fellow friends. We are from Group Fabulous 5. My name is Marisa. So today, together with my team members, which is Onika, Taskia, Roshan, and Temoli, we are going to do a presentation about collective bargaining and collective agreement. Okay, next slide. So these are the contents that we are going to cover. So the first one will be the definition of collective bargaining, and then follow on with the process of collective bargaining. And then number three, definition of collective agreement and the process. Number five, importance of collective agreement, and then the real case. Okay, next. Okay, so definition of collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is the process of negotiating the terms of employment between an employer and a group of workers. The terms of employment are likely to include items such as condition of employment, working condition, and other workplace rules, as well as base pay, overtime pay, work hours, sick leave, vacation time, retirement benefits, healthcare benefits, and other aspects of worker compensation and rights for workers. Okay, so I would like to call the next presenter to elaborate more on the process of collective bargaining.
Thank you, Marisa. So, collective bargaining actually is the process in which working people through their unions negotiate contract with their employees to determine their terms of employment, including pay, benefits, hours, job, leave, job health, safety policies for administrative or institution issues, ways to balance work and family, and many more. So, when raised issues between employees and employers, they both go through their collective bargaining process to make one solution. So we can classify this collective bargaining process into three sections. We can see here the very first step is pre-negotiation process. So in this process, the union send invitation to employers and the employer need to reply within 14 days. And secondly, both parties need to collect information about their strength and weakness, and need to collect economic data. And thirdly, they need to decide who will represent from both sides, and also decide the venue where both sides want to meet, and ensure the financial position of company and their ability to pay. So the second step is negotiation process. So the collective bargaining process must start within 13 days after employer agreed to meet. It must be in win-win situations so that both parties can be beneficial for their taking decision. So there is no pressure for company or union party, and their target actually is to achieve mutual agreement by discussion and negotiation. And once they both agreed, I mean employer and union party, they can get the court to take cognizance and cognizance. So after negotiation, uh, they can implement their decision. I mean, after negotiation, if agreement is reached, they can put this in writing format and do implement what has been promised. So what happened if employer refuse to negotiate, or employer and union doesn't agree this agreement? So their trade dispute exists. I mean, this agreement cannot be done between employer and union if both parties, I mean, cannot come into, cannot go into common ground. So these unsolved terms can be referred to IRO for mediation or conciliation, so that they can play mediating role to solve this problem. If still they cannot solve this agreement, the IRO refer this matter to the DGIR, who will again try to resolve the disputed terms. And if DGIR efforts fail, he will refer this matter to the minister, who can again conciliate on the disputed articles, or can refer this matter to the industrial court for arbitration. And once the industrial code the last step, decides on all terms, either it can be agreed or disputed, it becomes an award of the industrial code. So from these three steps, they can come into in common ground. But if they cannot, they doesn't agree, then they have to go through into this process. So that's all from me. I would like to invite my next presenter.
Okay, so for the collective agreement, a collective agreement is a written contract between the employer and a union that outlines the terms and conditions of employment for employees in a bargaining unit. The terms and conditions are reached through bargaining between the employer and the union. In another way to say is, collective agreement is the result of collective bargaining. Terms and conditions covered collective agreement typically include that obligation and responsibility the employee and the union, and a dispute resolution process. A collective agreement applies to your employment relationship if you are a member of the union. If your employer is a member of the association, and the union and the employers association have negotiated a collective agreement. Okay, so basically the negotiation for a collective agreement will begin. Either the employer or the union may give notice to bargain within the 90 days before the current or agreement is due to expire, or during any other time period specified in the agreement. The union and the employer must meet within 15 days from the giving of notice, unless they agree to some other time period. Okay, next I will pass to the next presenter to elaborate more.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anika Barkat, and I will explain the importance of collective agreement. So, before that, I would like to turn off my camera for any further technical difficulties. So we already get to know about the definition of a collective agreement. A collective agreement is a written agreement that sets out the employment terms and conditions for unionized employees, for example, wages, hours, working condition, and benefits. So a flexible model that focus on collaboration and finding joint solution with a collective agreement is a business benefit from. We have some points: simplicity, clarity, satisfaction, peace of mind, stability, hallmark of quality, and new business. So let me explain one by one. Simplicity, hiring new staff. We all know that hiring new staff is a great opportunity and great idea, and it's important to regulate in the employment arrangement so that the company doesn't have to set up everything itself, which is very important and relative to the collective agreement. Then the second one is clarity, creates commitment and sustainable growth with the clear rules of play. Everyone knows what applies even before they commence employment, which means that creating new commitment and the growth of the company is really related with the collective agreement. If the rules and regulation are maintained for the clarity, then the company's growth will be commence the employment. Then the third one is stability. We all know that for a company stability, collective agreement provide long-term stable rules which is agreed on by employers, organizations, and trade union in the industry. The fourth one is satisfaction. With a collectively agreed occupational pension solution, the management fees are extremely competitive, and which benefits employees as there is more left over for their pensions. The fifth one is peace of mind. So, support from a job security council for managers and employees in the event of a situation involving all the events which give a peace of mind to the employees and motivate them to work hard. The last one is hallmark of quality and new business. Many bodies and procedure services in the public sector and the world of organizations specify collective agreement as a requirement for the respective suppliers. That's how hallmark of quality and new business will be motivated and have a good growth through collective agreement. So next slide, please. Okay, so there are some examples in Malaysia which is related to collective agreement. And IKAI, we all know about IKAI company, right? So IKAI company, uh, Malaysia signs first collective agreement with a union. So this company owns and operate a store in Southeast Asian country. Signed the deal with the employees union on 30th December, and this agreement, which is effective for 3 years, including recognition of the union as an exclusive bargaining body, time off for union activities, paternity leave, co-workers discount on this company's goods, childcare leave, and personal accident and hospitalization plan, which are all this including in the collective agreement with this company. So the president of this company and Uni Malaysia Labor Center said that in our conference, he said that it was a difficult task for Uni MLC initially to organize these workers, but subsequently all our hard work and God's grace, we managed to increase the membership number. And the company then give us voluntary recognition, and we have completed the final step, that is to sign the first collective agreement. And from now on, Uni MLC and the union will hold several meetings with the members to explain the achievements and the content of collective agreement. So the alliance between this company and Uni MLC are very benefited for the employers, and for that, with this network, 40 unions of ICA workers from 16 countries says that the company has failed to live up the values it holds up at home, and has highlighted the grave in this company's approach to workers' rights in abroad. So they are failed in the local companies, but they have good reputation in the abroad company. So the another one example is with Denso. So Malaysia Union signs 10th collective agreement with Denso on April 30th, 2019. The National Union of Transport Equipment and Allied Industries Workers, NUTEAIW, signed the 10th collective agreement with the Denso Malaysia, the largest manufacturer of automobile components in Malaysia, with 1,365 workers. After almost a year of marathon bargaining, this company successfully negotiated a wage incremented of 8.5% for 950 union members. So we can get to know that it's a huge company. And the collective agreement also cover other benefits such as meal allowance for overtime, canteen food subsidy, and medical benefit for employees and immediate family members. So the immediate family members also will get the benefits under this collective agreement. So this is a meaningful moment because it marks the 10th collective agreement over a span of 30 years. Uh, so that's all from my side. I hope you guys get a little good idea about the collective agreement of Malaysia. So next slide, please. I would like to invite the next presenter.
Okay, so I'm going to explain about the process of collective agreement. So, process of collective agreement is when a collective bargaining is already made and when the union and employer have already signed it. Then it comes to an agreement because it is binding. Frequently, a collective agreement contains a condition that precisely defines the types of worker and type of job covered. It's like a rule book where it spells out the terms and conditions that have been made in the collective bargaining and make sure that the rules in the book are applied to every employees because collective agreement prevents differentiation among employees. Then, after a collective agreement has been reached, it must be made and applied to the employees. And as a reminder, the end results of collective bargaining that is agreed in collective agreement is not a privilege, but it is a worker or the employee's rights. I will pass it to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you, Tasya. Okay, I'm Tenmuri here, and I'll be presenting on the real case that happens between the employer and employee related to the collective agreement. So this real case is between the Union of Employees in Trade Union and also the Electrical Industry Worker Union. So the UETU is the labor union and the EIWU is the management or the company or the employer. So this agreement was took place on 3rd May 2017. So now we will focus on the process how the collective bargaining turns into a collective agreement. So first is the need for negotiation. So in this case, they want to renew the previous collective agreement. So the labor union and also the management, they agreed to have a regular meetings to review on the issues and also the demand. So after that, the process of negotiation is started. So they start to negotiate regarding the betterments in the terms and also the conditions. So after several rounds of give and take, both sides reach to a tentative agreement. Then they put it on a paper. So once agreed, they go to the court to take the cognizance. And after that, the final collective bargaining turns into a collective agreement and it becomes a binding contract. Okay, so now we will see on the better terms and conditions provided in the collective agreement. So first is the extra break. So according to the Employment Act, it is stated that the company should provide a period of break for not less than 30 minutes. But the collective agreement, they provide an extension of the lunch break on Friday so that the Muslim employees, they can attend the prayers or also they can perform the ritual obligations. So this is an advantage that the collective agreement provides to the employee because this benefit it exceeds the requirements in the Employment Act. Okay, next is the overtime meal allowance. So in the Employment Act, it is stated that the company should pay the employee at a certain rate, but the collective agreement it provides an additional benefit to the employees in that they will receive an extra overtime meal allowance of 8 ringgit. Okay, third is on the benefits on leaves. So as you can see, there are 3 benefits on the leave. First is wedding of an employee. They will receive a 7 working days leave. And attending a funeral, they will receive 4 working days leave and also pilgrimage leave. The employees who complete 10 years of service with the employer, they will receive 15 working days leave as a pilgrimage leave for them to perform their ritual obligations. Okay, next is on the benefits in terms of annual leaves. So from the table itself, we can get to know that the annual leave provided by the company in the collective agreement is more compared to the annual leave in the Employment Act. So the employees working under this employer will be very happy because they are receiving extra annual leaves. Okay, fifth is on the sick leave. So we can see clearly that the sick leave provided in the collective agreement is higher compared to the Employment Act. So it is good for the employees because they receive extra sick leaves compared to the sick leaves provided in the Employment Act. Okay, that's all from us. We reached to the end of our presentation, and thank you for watching.